Madison Baby Doe and is alleged to have put the human corpse in an exterior rollout trash can. She did not reside or work in Plain City or Madison County. The postmortem examination was conducted by the Montgomery County Coroner's Office. The delay in the discovery of the corpse and injuries caused by the garbage truck compactor have made it impossible to determine the time of cause or death. However, there is no evidence to support allegations relating to homicide. An arraignment was held in the Madison County Court of Common Pleas on April 2025. At that time, there was an entry of a not guilty plea. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Chief, there was a big push at the start of this to try to figure out who this mom was. A lot of surveillance video was looked at. We're told there's ring cameras on almost every single house out there on Bluestem. Can you share what initially drew your attention to this suspect and how you were able to identify her?
Like I said, this whole case was solved in forensic science. So the way we obtained a suspect was actually by going through trash. All right, and we obtained the DNA through the samples that we obtained through the trash.
Do you guys have any idea what happened leading up to when the baby was put in this rolling trash can? Do we know, has the suspect said anything about what might have happened that led to the baby's death?
I'm not going to answer those questions at this time. I'm going to refer some of those questions to the prosecutor's office.
You said she's not from Madison County. Where is she from? What drew her here to be the place where she made the decision to do this?
She's actually from Greene County, Ohio. She was in town visiting a relative at the time.
So I'm sorry, you said something in the trash initially led you to this suspect?
Yes, a DNA sample.
What was that?
Can you remember what it was? Was it a Q-tip?
Beer bottle and a Q-tip.
A beer bottle and a Q-tip. The DNA was on those.
So you did BCI just run all that stuff, or did?
Yes, with the assistance from BCI, they were determined who the suspect was.
Does she have a history that she would have had a match?
There was nothing in the database with her DNA.
So how do you go from a beer bottle to this woman?
Through a long process. Again, those are questions that BCI would probably have to answer, how they obtained the DNA, or the prosecutor's office.
Do you expect more charges to be coming against the suspect, or is this the one?
Again, that would be up to the Madison County prosecutor's office.
How old is she?
The suspect?
The suspect. How old?
She was actually 24 years old at the time.
Okay, so she'd be 25, 26 now?
Yes.
Do you have any evidence that she stayed on Bluestem Lane at some point? You mentioned she has family around. Is there a reason that she would be at a particular house on that street?
All we know at this time is that she was staying there for approximately a week during the incident. I have no evidence that shows that she resided there for a long period of time.
When was she arrested?
She was never arrested.
She was never arrested.
No. She appeared for her arraignment today in court through a summons.
So she was staying for a week at a home on Bluestem when this occurred?
Yes.
The people at that home?
Through our investigation, that's what we found.
The people who were at that home where she was staying, were they aware of any of this?
Through our investigation, there is no evidence they had any knowledge of this, and I believe them. You know, this case isn't, you know, I know a lot of people think that this case should have been kind of an easy one because one day a lady is pregnant, and then the next day she's not. So what happened to the child? So this case was very difficult to prove because there's no witnesses at all. This, again, was all done through forensic science and DNA. But there is no evidence to know if anybody had any knowledge of this other than the suspect.
So they didn't say, yes, there was a woman staying here who was pregnant, and that's what drew you to her?
No, they didn't know she was pregnant.
No one in the home where she was staying knew she was pregnant?
Right.
indication about the father of her child and their reaction to all of this, if they even knew that she was pregnant and this is going on?
Again, those are probably records you're probably going to have to get through the prosecutor's office to answer those questions.
And so we don't know where this baby was born. I'm assuming that she didn't have any sort of birth certificate or any kind of identification that she existed in the first place.
The baby was delivered in the house.
Do you know if anyone else was home at the time that this delivery happened?
No, I can't answer that question. I don't know at this time.
So the baby was delivered at a home on Bluestem, and then she went outside.
Put it in a trash can.
Do we know if the baby was alive when it was born, or was it born?
We don't have any evidence to prove that the baby was alive. Again, through my media release, I stated that the injuries caused by the trash truck made it hard to determine. I'm not saying that the baby wasn't alive. I'm just saying that we can't prove the baby was alive at the time it was put into the trash can.
Getting to this step in the case, this is a case in a situation that really drew this community together. Getting to this point and seeing the reaction on social media from the community, what does it say to you about the work of your detectives and folks that have been involved in this case from the beginning?
Like I said, this case has been very exhausting. It's been worked on every single day since that incident happened. I am very proud of my team, especially Detective Philip Greenbaum. He worked on this almost every single day to get where we are today. Lieutenant Jaskowitz, he oversees the investigation department. So yes, no, I'm very proud of my team. Again, this isn't like CSI on TV where it's solved in 30 minutes. I mean, this was a hard case to solve.
Anything you want your community members to know? She had mentioned it kind of brought a lot of people together. So now that this case has been, we have a conclusion to it almost at this point, what do you want community members to know?
Just in the future to have patience. And again, like I say, that these cases aren't solved overnight. I saw some posts on social media a long time ago that, they felt like some of this was swept under the rug or something. I just want them to know that they have to have trust in their law enforcement agency to know that we're going to do everything possible to solve every crime, just not this, but every crime, and to give us time. I don't know if Mayor Carney would like to make any comments toward that, or if you guys want to ask her any questions.
If you'd like
Yes,
to,
sir.
can you step up to the
Yes.
podium so we can hear you?
I just want to say the tenacity of our Plain City Police Department is amazing to see that the conclusion and the closure that they have brought to our community when the news broke out about this incident. It was just heartbreaking, especially we are a community of many families of multiple ages. And to have the closure of knowing that we came together as a community during that time, offered baby Madison Doe a final resting place, has been a good way for our community to pull together and to when this tragic event happened. So we are very thankful to our Plain City Police Department for their work that they did to help give everyone that closure to the case. Any other questions?
Sorry.
Anything else you can add that we haven't asked?
No, not really. Only that, I during the first part of this investigation was that I made a promise that we would give Madison Baby Doe a proper funeral, which we did. I mean, she deserved it and received a wonderful funeral, and that we would find the mother, and we did. Lieutenant Jaskowitz, do you have anything to add? Good. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Not for on the record, but do you happen to know the case numbers? The indictment is not visible on the clerk's website, so.
Usually one of these comes out with